Yay!
Yay!
Hey, don't hit the table.
Oh, yeah,
We're
don't
not
hit
allowed to tap the table.
We're back, guys. We're back.
Da, da, da.
And this time, we watched the episode.
This time I have glasses on.
Yeah.
That you can't
This
see
studio's tight.
if you're listening.
For my next
Barry Wren
trick.
Stevens.
So I will just open up with this because watching that episode, I didn't realize how gangster you were, Christy. When we started that show, you had such a street vibe about you that I don't think most people know Ren had.
So that's true, because I'm Italian girl from an Italian family in Connecticut, which is actually, people hear Connecticut, they think like very bougie, and that's basically like a certain portion of the state. But where I'm from is the very like melting pot Italian American area. Milford, New Haven, Bridgeport, like that's my people.
Yeah.
And then there's of course like we tried to go to schools in nicer areas, but I mean we just had a very simple town. And so I went and did a lot of musical theater and theater in New York City. So I mean so here's the thing.
Tell us.
So here's the thing.
Spill the beans.
Let's get into it.
Hey,
Oh.
how
I
appropriate.
was a little late on my
Yeah.
No, I
yeah,
really
yeah.
hope you say that like frequently, like throughout the podcast.
You should just get shirts made
Spill the beans.
that say
Instead of
spill the beans
tea,
and sell that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever
Yeah.
came up with tea, it should have been beans.
It should have been beans.
Missed it.
Damn, these Gen Z. I blame Gen Z for
I do
everything. Poor kids. Anyway, where was I going with that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
You're talking about you're
gangster,
doing theater.
You're doing theater.
Yeah. Here's
you were
the thing.
super gangster doing theater.
New York kids, the casting agents said they really liked New York kids. There was like this bias. There was literally a cultural bias in casting where now they actually, I mean, I think common knowledge is like, oh, they have an accent. They're from Australia or wherever, or British. They're better actors. So I feel like there has been that mentality in
About
different
New Yorkers.
And so the kids from New York were a little rougher around the edges. So like Nickelodeon would like that, right? Because the tone of their stuff is usually a little bit more chaotic and rough. And then from what I had heard, and also we had a lot more theater background. I think the kids that were gravitating towards, acting in California, if they'd already just grown up there wasn't as many theatrical children. So their training was a little different. It was more like on-set training, commercial, print, I don't know, a little bit more superficial if you think about it that way, which makes perfect sense. And then the kids were just rougher. So I was rougher. This was a callback to another episode that we had where I was embarrassed about doing a Disney Channel show. Not because of, I actually don't even think I'd remembered ever having gone to Disneyland. Okay? Like before starting to work for Disney, which is kind of sad, but my parents didn't prioritize that and they didn't have the money to like bring us.
Yeah.
We went, I think, as babies and whatnot, but I don't remember ever going. So I didn't have an affinity to work for Disney. There was no reason that I wanted to do that. I had worked for a really, really impressive indie filmmaker named Hal Hartley in a really cult indie movie, Woody Allen. I was in a Woody Allen movie. I was in
How old were you when you did that?
the Woody Allen movie. I actually met him and everything. I must have been like 12 or 11. And I was going to a performing arts school in New York City. And so like everything that I had done had been geared around like the theater, the dark indie movie space, like legit. Nothing like cute. I mean, I think I may have done like one Nickelodeon thing like in passing, but it was just all so not what I ended up doing. So I think it is interesting to see how I started acting because it feels very rehearsed.
Yeah, well, I mean, you
Very
definitely-
poised.
Yeah, you definitely had that kind of like trained background feeling. But watching Take My Sister, which I haven't seen any of these things in such a long time. But I'm like, wow, I don't remember you being slight edge.
It was the accent. What do you mean though? Do you mean that like there was an edgier part of
No,
it?
there's just something about your mannerisms and the way you talk. Like I know that I talk a little out of the side of my mouth. I don't know why. It's just what I do sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. You had a little bit of that less refined. Like I think as you grew into the role, you became much more of that, like you super type A.
Yeah.
It
was the life imitating art.
Yeah, for sure.
thing,
But when
really.
you started out, because like that was early. That was early in our season.
It was.
And I'm like, wow, look at she's a little cute, a little rough, a little, but I mean, still poised.
I looked like a kid. I felt like a kid.
Yeah. It's just.
But I couldn't imagine you any other way. It's just the way that we know you.
What,
know?
as a kid or rough?
No, just
I don't know if I was
that
super
sorta-
rough when I saw you though.
Maybe a little. You still had a little bit of that
did.
Brooklyn, New York.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember that at
this.
all.
I
Wow.
remember that a little bit.
Well, good. I'm glad.
It got washed out of her, man.
It definitely
got
got by the
Kelly'd out.
movie for sure. By the movie,
No.
we'll try to keep an eye on it. But like,
No,
it is a very palpable difference.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
completely agree with you. I completely agree.
So, it's a fun episode, though.
It is. I do sing, which kind of goes back to the fact that I was training to go to Juilliard. Okay.
Wow.
And I got waitlisted to go to Juilliard, and it was very sad. And I ended up getting waitlisted the same year that Emmy Rossum from Shameless, and she played Christine in the movie version of Phantom of the Opera. She actually ended up going and being a part of this class, this children's conservatory or preteen conservatory Juilliard opera program. I had been training. So it's so crazy because we're watching this talent show. What's it called? What's this episode called?
Take my sister.
Oh,
Take my sister,
please, ... please.
Take my sister, please.
I'm singing all this opera, and guys, I haven't seen myself sing opera, and so I was like, ugh, like super critical once
I didn't
again.
realize that was your real voice that you actually
That was my real
recorded
voice.
that. Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's a couple times I sing it. It's weird.
Well, it's really funny because you actually mentioned it. You said that. So in the episode, Shia has a little sketch comedy thing he's going to do that Larry. What's it, Larry?
Yeah,
Beals,
Larry pulls the Carlos Mencia
Yeah.
way before the Carlos Mencia pulls the Carlos Mencia.
and steals the act
steals-
from Lewis, and so then Lewis has no show, and then Ren comes in and saves the day with doing her opera and makes Lewis the clown of the opera in a way, and
Yeah, the
you're the
fool.
one that
Yeah,
you're the one
is it
that
me?
mentioned
But yeah, he
it
looked
looks-
a lot like his mom there.
He dressed
Looked
like
a lot like Shayna there.
yeah, like his mom. Shayna.
I wonder if that was a choice.
It
Oh, it had to be.
With the braids?
It had
Oh,
to be.
absolutely.
Shia loved. He
Absolutely.
loved he loved his mom.
She was great.
So much.
She was. I mean,
She was so kind to
It's
me.
just too
Yeah.
big of a coincidence, I think.
yeah, probably.
I mean, when you talk about stage moms and
Right.
parents, she was definitely a class act. Like
beautiful soul.
beautiful soul,
Loving,
always gentle,
kind. Yep.
Gave the
never.
best hugs.
Yeah,
Oh,
never.
I can
ne-
smell her.
Never,
I can
never
still smell her and feel her
angry.
oil.
Yeah.
She was always like sort of just freshly oiled.
Yeah,
and smelled
she
like,
was super gentle and just a kind woman,
what a
and
beautiful
also
soul.
I think really great in handling that environment with Shia.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know about this until you just mentioned it, but I didn't realize that she had passed.
Mm-hmm. I
mean,
read it recently.
I don't know if
so-
that's accurate
Is
or
it
not.
fake news?
I haven't
hope
had a
not.
chance to look
I
that
hope
up
it is
yet.
fake news.
I've heard I've done
Why don't we look
I'm
that
gonna
up?
Google it right
Because
now.
I shouldn't be saying it if it didn't happen. But I don't think there's any harm in remembering her because she was a great, kind woman.
Yeah, no. Whenever I met her, literally you just felt warmth and love just radiate off of
Yeah.
this person. You could even see it. It was such a warm feeling.
And she was unimpressed with
Yes,
with the whole
with the
scene.
whole Hollywood
yeah,
bullshit.
and that's
There
where
was no
all
Hollywood.
parents fail.
Yeah.
They get high on the attention and the
and as deeply human
money
as
more so than the
Shia's
kids
parents
do.
were, there's no way you could misconstrue them for being Hollywood. That was not one of their faults.
Well,
all.
at least not his mom.
Yeah.
She did pass. She did pass.
She
I
did
mean, that's what
pass.
it says. It said he revealed that in an interview.
That's-
So if it was from his mouth,
Man, that's really heartbreaking. At least I don't want to talk about anyone who's not here. I think we should, we can share whatever we want to share within this space regarding our experiences
Yeah,
and
for
the
sure.
episodes.
What's there to say? You
That,
know what I'm
no,
saying?
I'm,
Like-
I'm just saying. But there's a lot out there,
Okay.
right? But that being said, over the years, ever since the show, his mom has always been that person that if he and I were out of touch, she and I would communicate, and just always just as loving and as kind as she always was. And we're just like, it's really wild. It's really wild. That's sad to hear. It makes me really sad to hear she's gone.
she loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loved him.
So if you watch that episode, you guys will see a little bit of Shayna for sure in that. Good call on that. That's so funny.
Yeah, and I do think that it was a very heartfelt, another heartfelt scene where the brother and sister kind of choose to work together. And I feel like when you're watching a family show and you have your kids watching it at home, or your nieces, nephews, whoever, you just want them to be exposed to positive role models in this way. And I feel like even though maybe our characters were imperfect and that was part of the chaos, I think that when it came down to it, they all loved each other. And I think this is definitely going to be a recurring theme that we see that I think is the saving grace of the show.
Excuse me. This thing is giving me bubbles. I knew that was going to happen. I'm like, I want that La Croix, but it's going to give me some bubbles.
Sponsored by La Croix.
Yeah. What's the other one that's out there? Spindrift? I mean, I don't know if we can talk about this shit, but I'll tell you what, Spindrift is the bomb. I use that.
You need to come back to Austin, okay? Because you had a ranch there, and then you sold it.
Yeah.
And what they've got is Waterloo. And Waterloo is the best.
No. Have you had Spindrift?
Yes, it's trash.
No, it's not.
Waterloo is the best water with bubbles.
It's straight. Yeah, it's not. It's not overly carbonated. It's got a very natural carbonated feel to it, and it's all fresh juice, no sugar added.
Oh, here he goes with
yeah,
it's all about that Costco brand Kirkland, baby.
You know what? I will give you that. Okay, we will compromise and say that Kirkland.
Hell no. Okay, you know what we'll do? No. So here's the problem. Here's why you wouldn't like Spindrift, because it doesn't have that sweetness. Like if you drink grapefruit, it doesn't taste like this.
That's true.
If you drink grapefruit, it's bitter.
That's true.
And so when you drink these other drinks that don't have any added sugar, they're actually not the sweetest taste. They're a little bitter and a little tart.
Okay. You sold your Georgetown property?
Yeah.
I live in Austin. It is prime real estate right now.
Oh, trust me, I know. When I bought in Austin before Joe Rogan went there and everyone else started following his ass.
Yep, well, we did.
I bought in Austin back in 2005.
Man, you got to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you visited us.
Yeah, I visited you.
We had a
Awesome.
blast. Oh, he was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
So I'm doing these crazy YouTube things, right? And we asked
No.
him.
Really?
Hey, man, they pay the bill.
I've never seen you.
You haven't? Wait.
I did one of your shows. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's right. We cooked. But have you seen anything else after that?
No. Do you realize I don't watch anything that's related to kid shit?
Yeah.
You gotta. No,
Okay.
Sorry.
Fair enough.
Wait, no. I mean,
but watch my
first of all,
shit, 'cause
I'm
it's good.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Be a supportive brother.
Have you been to any of my shit?
I mean,
Oh, there you go.
because you're not online,
family
fucker.
rivalry.
I don't have to be online. I'm in life.
Okay, well, now we're in each other's life.
Sorry. We just got really loud.
Where's Tom when you need him?
I apologize
love
to
it.
the sound crew. What's that? What does this tattoo say?
It says Amika Mea. He's looking at my arm, and I have a puzzle piece that matches a tattoo that my husband and I have with matching tattoos, which is supposed to be bad luck, but we already...
You know what's
Sweet.
funny? Hold on a sec. Watch out. Excuse me.
Wait,
What-
do you have a matching tattoo?
Sorry, Mike.
What are you doing here?
Where'd he go?
I don't think the mouse would approve.
There he goes.
Wait, what? Get out of here.
I can't get. There's.
What is that?
I have a puzzle piece there. Too.
Do you really?
Yeah.
What?
The puzzle,
That's
sorry.
crazy,
It's okay.
man.
Yeah.
Like
I have a
this?
puzzle piece.
Kind of like that?
Yeah. Same thing.
Same one? Same
Yeah.
thing. You have the same puzzle piece.
Yeah, my nephew passed away, and he had that on his forearm, and so half of my family got the puzzle piece. Yeah. So
Aw.
yeah. What are?
I think that's a good
what
sign.
What are these, Christy? What is that?
So, well, we can talk offline on those.
Okay.
They're not track marks.
No, okay. Well,
He's looking at my forearm, so.
is it like
I have
eczema?
other tattoos.
Is
Did
it
you know
eczema?
that? Do you have tattoos?
She just said no. We're not talking about that shit.
Do you have tattoos?
I have two. Yeah,
You have two
I
tattoos?
have one on my butt and one on my calf here.
You have one on your butt?
Yeah, go.
No.
Oh, okay. You know what? I need the views. Let's see it. Come on.
I don't
Come on.
think we can show the camera, so here, we'll do it this way.
Oh
so the
my
camera
God.
doesn't see. Here.
Dude, oh my! This is too much.
Wait, I don't. It's on the
There's
other
no
side.
tattoo.
Oh yeah, it's a
Jesus.
duck.
Yeah, it's
All right.
With a phone number on it.
Yeah, no, it's his
Oh,
birthday.
Dude, your
because
butt-
his dad was named Ducky.
Okay,
Don't
your
talk
butt
about his
has
butt.
way more.
I know,
It's
I
got
need to
you
shave
got way
my
more
butt.
ass than
That was
than-
really
than you
sweet.
think you
I
do.
know, I got more hair on my
We're not gonna make
fucking-
nudity
God,
like a
this
thing.
dude just went straight crack.
What?
First of all,
You've never seen my butt
I
before?
appreciate that.
No, I
he
try-
will do
I
what is
don't-
asked of him, and he's always up for a challenge.
Wow. Yeah.
You do have a cute butt. You don't need any implants.
Thank you,
We were
Christy.
talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling a little self-conscious.
So actually, Ducky is
God.
your dad, and
yeah,
you
my
just
dad's sick name, yeah.
didn't.
Dad's sick name.
You just had an angel day for him a couple
Yeah,
days ago.
yeah,
Did
yeah,
you
the
see?
20th,
But
yeah.
did you see that I posted? I was like, hey.
I did. I
Okay,
appreciate
good.
that.
Wait,
Christy.
what
Thank
was
you.
this? I missed
Is
it.
Yeah,
Dad-
it's sweet. It's not sexual, you perv.
It's his dad who passed away. It was his best friend in the whole world. Ducky, they call him Ducky. I didn't know you called him Ducky.
Yeah, I think that was after. He heard he like walked into, it was just one of those weird things that stuck. He walked into an automatic door and he was limping for like a day. So we were just like, oh, you're walking like a duck.
And he's Ducky.
Yeah, and he just 20 years later.
Your dad was. I loved your dad.
I loved your dad too.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I didn't think about him until he just showed me your ass. And
I know.
But that's why he has it, so that other people remember.
It made me think about your dad. Your dad was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He was a sweet, sweet, sweet guy.
Don't make him cry. He was already crying with Shayna. We're not going to get him down. Poor guy stripping around.
I know.
So he passed when?
Wait, you can't. He's gonna start to get emotional. Are you okay?
It's been enough time. It's been 10 years now. God.
Okay.
Yeah, the 6/20/12. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been enough time.
Wow.
Seems like just yesterday though. It's one of those things, you know.
Oh yeah.
My dad-
I don't think there's ever enough time that passes, especially when it's someone like your parent.
I was gonna say, are your parents alive?
Yeah. I mean, my parents are fortunately still here. My dad is, I think, 84, 85. My mom is 82, 83, something like that. Both healthy, but it's also like, you know, it's
tender.
Yeah,
age.
like you just realize that it can go like that any second. My mom was just in the hospital with pneumonia, and that was scary. But you know, whenever I hear about someone younger than me that's lost a parent, I think that's one of the biggest transitions I think you can go through in life, besides losing a child, which you hope you never have, right? But like those transitions are like crazy, and I do not look forward to that moment, but I haven't. Yeah, they're still here. Yeah.
You see, my father passed. My oldest is 6, and she was alive, so I guess it was about 4 or 5, like Octobers ago, and you know, he went fast, kind of thing, but painfully because it was cancer, and he just thought he could live forever. We all thought he could live forever, kind of thing. He just had that bravado. Did you ever remember Tony Romano coming on set? And,
oh yeah, no, your dad.
I bet my dad would have loved
your dad and your brother were producing. He and I spoke at one point.
When?
Your dad and I talked.
Oh, like after?
Yeah, after the show. I forget what the heck it was we talked about.
My dad was trying to do a lot of
there was something.
He wanted to be
on.
a producer,
Yeah,
like later in life.
He was involved in some kind of like production or like trying to do that.
The reason why. My dad always was looking for a way to make money, right? Which is the perfect producer's mentality, and in a cheap way. And so towards the end of his life, he was in Connecticut, and they all have these tax credits, these tax incentives, so that a lot of people, independent filmmakers, if they knew somebody who was able to make movies, he kind of wanted to get in on that. So that did end up happening, but I made him a producer, or like a co-producer or something on my movie that I directed. I directed a kid's Christmas movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a lot of work, and I had horrible producers.
What was the show?
It was called Christmas All Over Again, and it was actually out there. And I would love to direct, but I have the little kids right now, and it's so hard to be like, I'm gonna just steal away and take that time for myself. I didn't. It's not that I got it out of my system. It's that I'm not ready to get back to.
Yeah, you're not ready for it to consume your life.
But I do love it. I do love directing, for sure. Where have we? I love this. We went to everywhere, and
well, so
we're back.
What is your dad? What kind of cancer do you have?
Ocular? I think it's ocular, but ocular. I don't know.
So
it was
eye?
like It was this rare eye cancer that my dad had, and
that sounds terrible.
Actually, so not right after Even Stevens, but a few years after Even Stevens, he came to me, and I was in this relationship at the time, and he was like, I've got eye cancer, and I don't know what to do, and I'm scared. And I just had a pretty bad relationship with my parents at the time, so I chose the guy like over my family for a little bit. It was sad. I mean, like, I think my dad was not a perfect person, but he loved me so much. And I think like we were displaced, like part of having to leave the state you're from to go devote yourself, my mom and me were away from my family for like a long, long time. So it's like that edge of mine that we were talking about, it softened because the ties to my home became less and less. So it's kind of,
How did losing your dad change your life?
It made me reevaluate my relationship to death and how apathetic I've become. Yeah. Before I met my husband, I think I was numbing a lot with alcohol. And so when I was dating, I couldn't really feel anything, and like I was just very everything felt very transactional, and I just was lost, And then another layer of that, I think, kind of mirrored back in my face was when he passed away, and I didn't know what it was like to grieve, and I didn't know what it felt like to actually experience loss. Yeah. And it's probably just because I felt I've been so privileged at so many things my whole life. So it really did over time. So my grief wasn't immediate. I don't know how it was with you and your dad.
No, it took a while.
Did it really?
It took.
So you were numb too.
I was numb for a good 2 years, and I didn't feel shit. And then, like, for the next 8, it was a process of ups and downs, and it just time, and eventually, you either get through it or you don't.
Yeah. You live in their memory in a way that that you carry them with you. I know that sounds really lame and cliche.
You do, but you carry their good stuff, and eventually, the bad shit dies with them.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. You allow it to die with them, because you want to remember the good and the positive, and not the, the times where he was bitching at me, yelling at me to get my homeworks done when I was a senior and more interested in women and alcohol,
If that's the only thing he got mad at you for, then
I know that he was slacking.
Then you're pretty good.
Yeah,
you're a good
he wasn't looking.
I think it's hard to hang on to the bad shit, because at the end of the day, none of it really means a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like it's all, everything's so temporary that it kind of puts the bad shit in perspective.
Oh, definitely.
And also, I'll tell you, I'm a huge violator of this notion. So my whole life, I've been very vengeful, and it's the same thing that, like, when I look back on even Stevens, what I think you were asking me in another episode was, Chris, why do you feel like you need to unpack this stuff about yourself, right? Or why do you feel shame in all of that? And it's because I think there's a part of me that knows how much negativity I was holding on to, and how much, like, I don't know if it was entitlement, but just there was confusion about, the stories I was telling myself, right, about my experience. So I just think that, like, where you're coming at is where I'm finally coming to understand after having kids and stuff, where I'm like, I'm really here for a split second. And I think having kids, for me, was what really got me to see that's very finite. There's a very finite amount of time.
Yeah.
So every time that you're holding on to something, as comfortable as it feels to hold on to the negativity, and as safe as it feels to be angry, at least for me, it's so much more empowering to learn how to let it go.
For me, it was honestly the complete opposite, because it's almost like, well, when Dad died, it's almost like, well, shit, man, I've had a great life. I've accomplished so much. I've made more money than the both of them combined.
Yeah.
I've, been to more places than, them than they ever were. So it's like, man, if I died tomorrow, I've literally done more than most people 90% of the people on this planet already.
What did if you don't mind me asking, and you don't have to share, obviously, but what did your dad, how did he die?
Cancer also.
Cancer too.
Esophageal,
Wow, that's rare too, no?
Yeah, it's rare because he never smoked a day in his life ever. He wasn't a smoker.
Was it quick, or did it last a while?
It lasted about a year.
That's actually pretty quick.
It wasn't, and it wasn't really bad until like the last probably 3 months. It wasn't.
Yeah, isn't it horrible?
Oh, those last 3 months are fucked up. Yeah.
We should put a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't. I mean, that's in a weird way. It's almost a blessing, because cancer lets you know you have a limited amount of time with this person, right? But then it's also like the most miserable way for anyone to go. I mean,
because they're like your superhero. They're this force that's
true.
Supposed to have that S on their chest, and especially cancer. Watching them just almost rot away like that, it's tough.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're having uplifting conversations,
I know, right?
guys.
Can you just
don't hit the table?
Can you just give me Pookie for a minute? I just want to hug Pookie. I think I need a hug from Pookie from all this sad chatter.
We're gonna have to bring back Pookie's little
hugging on Pookie.
Little series I was playing with called "Where's Pookie?" We'll have to do a little Pookie show.
Pookie.
Pookie and Beans.
What does he smell like?
He smells
Has he been washed in the
good.
last 20 years?
Yeah, he looks
No,
great.
there's
He actually looks better than my Pookie.
There's definitely some playa dust.
I have the hero.
And
I have the hero Pookie. You have, I
There's
think you have the
playa
same.
dust, glitter, and some coconut oil on
I
this
know.
guy. I don't want to tell you exactly where he's been, but
Why is he sticking to the desk, Nick?
Oh my
Here,
goodness.
Pookie, I want
That's
you to
so
sit
funny.
here.
Oh,
Hang out with us.
Pookie. Pookie was a character, you guys, that was Ren's like sock puppet from when she was a baby.
Don't drink too much.
So where are we at with this episode, though?
Well,
The talent show? Are we
Yeah.
on the talent show one? Okay.
yeah,
on the
we're on the
talent
talent
show
show.
Yeah.
So I didn't do anything on actually.
Yeah.
No, I
You're
mean,
seeing.
I was in it, but I didn't have any talent on the show.
You were, yeah.
No, but Tom Virtue displayed his juggling skills.
Were those
which
real or was
fine.
that CGI?
CGI.
Oh, come on.
Okay, come on. I was just
Come on, Tom is talented, but speaking of Tom,
Well, I mean, were eggs even in the budget? Well, that's was back then where eggs were affordable and like we could technically
they are
use them.
not affordable
Yeah,
anymore. You can't even
nowadays
find
eggs are not in a Disney
Yeah.
Channel budget.
No,
they gotta
not at all.
be CGI'd.
Not at all.
So
But our parents on that show, like Donna Pescow is
The great, iconic.
Yeah, I mean
Angie.
she was
Put some
on
respect
she
on
was
the
on
Yeah.
not Grease. What am I talking about?
Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever with
Yep.
John Travolta.
Yep.
So she's a classic actress, well known. And then Tom Virtue. Tom is the guy that just does not stop working.
We see Tom
Dude,
pop
that
up
guy is a
everywhere, right?
grinder.
Everyone's like, isn't that the guy from Even
Yeah, isn't
Steven?
he
That's a
dad on the
dad.
show?
Yeah, it's him.
He did what was that show he did? Was it Keenan?
I
he's in
know.
everything. I was just watching him. He was in Saturday.
If I looked up
Law and Order,
Tom's
playing
IMDb.
a lawyer in Law and Order a while.
Every
ago.
white
kills
guy
it, man.
every white guy everywhere is Tom.
It's
Tom is just
Yeah.
like that guy.
Yeah.
He's like the dude from the Matrix that appears
Yes,
everywhere.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
The agent.
Keyhole.
The agent.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's that
It's
guy.
amazing,
Yeah.
man. He's going to be a guest on the show. He's touring right now, doing a play production.
Is he really?
Yeah. I mean,
His wife's a doctor.
talk about dedication. That was the one. I never did a lot of play work when I got started. I did.
Really?
I did,
That surprises me.
No, I did a couple of plays in North Hollywood, but it was a crapshoot for me right from the start, and fortunately it worked out. But Tom he's like an actor's actor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the time.
One of those guys. His IMDb page just goes on for pages
Forever.
and pages and pages.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got the best attitude.
He
He's
does.
so great.
He does.
Yeah. And he took a hit with these eggs in this episode.
Yeah.
One of the first sight gags that we have. Actually, no, wait a minute. I digress. Oh, guys, I have to talk about something that was a bit traumatic.
What is this?
So, okay. So speaking of sight gags, right? Sight gags are when something's really funny, or something somebody gets slimed, or there's a stunt involved, which, kids shows have to rely on a lot for visual comedy, visual physical comedy. Nickelodeon has that in spades. We were trying to compete with Nickelodeon a lot of times. So some of the more fantastical elements of the show had, eggs falling on someone, or when they cut away in this episode, I was singing opera and there was tomatoes thrown at me. Okay. So do you remember how in the stage we had our green screen all the way in the back? Mm-hmm. That's where we did a lot of the more CGI or green screen stuff. Okay. Well, somebody, I'm not going to say who, but on the production team thought it would be okay to use actual very large tomatoes, and they cut them up. I remember this very clearly. And they had red paint, tempura red paint poured into the red tomatoes. And they proceeded to chuck them at me. Like, I'd say they were trying to be light, but they were very large tomatoes. So as they hit, and they also kept trying to do it because it was done in black and white, but it was like a bell dress. And so the dress needed to take the paint and smear it, right? They wanted it to look really crazy.
Yeah.
Well, what they didn't realize was that I had braces, right? So the braces, when things would hit me in the mouth, would hurt.
Cut your mouth out.
Yeah. But then the worst thing, Shia walks up and somebody hands him like 2 tomatoes.
No.
Yes, dude.
No.
They handed him 2 tomatoes and he got this mischievous grin on his face and he started throwing tomatoes at me. And I was like, oh my God. And my mom, of course, she freaked out. Well, no, because I came to her and I was like, I can't do this. I was really insecure at the time about my braces, about my body, about everything.
Yeah.
And about my singing.
Well, you're a
because
teenage girl at
they
the
had
time.
me singing as he was throwing them at me.
you.
So I felt
Lord.
extremely, of course. So I understand little Christy's mentality of that and why I'm still a little traumatized by it, but also to like probably not the best to use real tomatoes or other co-stars to
do
that.
That doesn't ever go well. Wait, so did you
I
get,
don't
did
have
you get
a
hit
ton
in the
of those.
mouth?
I did.
You did.
I did, but not by Shia. That was just like.
But it didn't bust your teeth up, or did it?
I think I
bust
had got
your
a
lip
little
up.
cut. I think I did get a little bit cut when there was impact. But I mean, it just sucks.
I had braces for like 3 years, and I had to wear a headgear.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, it was funny because I was, I think we're all insecure when we're young, right? I mean, shit.
Oh, I'm not. I mean, I was just
You were a stud?
Mr. GQ over here.
Shit,
all
man.
Nothing could
Beans
stop
every
me,
day.
baby.
Still got insecurities. But I wore the headgear to school because I was so determined to get this shit off as
Smart.
quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I wore that nasty ass headgear thing to school the whole time, and it still was on my grill for 3 years.
Damn.
And it was all to try to close. I had a little bit of an overbite.
Okay.
And I had to close this little gap in my teeth.
Uh-huh.
And it closed, and then like a few years later, popped right back.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I was working. I was on Young and the Restless, and some girl that was on the show, she's like, "Oh, you have a gap in your teeth." And at that point, I really didn't really care. No, she's like, "That's a sign of good luck or good fortune." And I'm like,
Aw.
"Oh, well, that just changed everything for me." I'm like, "I'm keeping my gap." So that was it.
I'd like to. I bet you Michael Strahan has the same thought.
I have a gap in my
It worked
teeth.
for him.
I have a gap in my
Yeah,
teeth
so
now.
if anyone out there has gaps, keep your gap. Wait, what's up with your teeth?
Oh, I fucked up my teeth badly.
Doing what?
Well, first one, I walked into a sign in Vegas on my 22nd birthday, drunk as hell.
That's
Then
surprising.
I got it fixed, and then I fucked up the cap when I was 27.
Same tooth.
Same damn tooth.
Okay.
I was taking care of my friend's attack fish. I forgot what kind of fish it was. But,
This
you
is
know,
interesting.
I stuck my face next to the tank going, "You're
Shut
fishy, fishy, fishy." This thing rams the tank. I freak out.
Attack fish?
Yeah, it was a baku. I don't know what type of fish it was. It was
Okay.
this weird.
Is it a big fish?
Yeah, it was a big ass fish. You should have seen the size.
Was
of
it a
this
barracuda?
Fish. I don't know. It could have
A
been
baku
It
barracuda.
could have been
Okay.
like a shark barracuda mix hybrid thing.
So you got attacked by a fish and they took your tooth?
Well, it charged the tank. I went forward because I kind
Wait,
of.
why would you go
God.
forward when it's coming at you?
Because I wasn't expecting it.
I don't know why you were flirting with a fish to begin
So
with.
I went forward and I knocked out the cap.
God damn.
And I lost.
I
the
just
cap.
trying to figure out how the heck your nose has survived, but your teeth keeps getting jacked up.
Yeah.
You have a cute nose.
Well, thank you.
I like your nose.
Let's see the teeth.
Oh no, you're not.
He doesn't want to see it.
No.
No.
We'll get it fixed.
Yeah, I know. One of these days, probably by next episode.
Wait, so
Patreon.
So this is
Patreon, yeah.
We're gonna have a
this has
certain
been
Patreon part where you guys can donate.
A thing on social
Yeah,
media.
Save
and
his
then,
tooth.
And then COVID happened, and you couldn't get a fucking.
He needs to
dentist
save his
appointment.
teeth.
And then
Okay.
eventually, yeah, one of these days.
Back-
Probably by next season.
You know what, man? We're
doing a Patreon. We're gonna have a
we're gonna
little
get
thing.
you. We're gonna get you some laser work done.
Hell
we're
yeah.
gonna
You
laser.
deserve
We're
your
gonna
teeth.
laser
You wanna
clean
see a
those
big
teeth.
smile.
Just attach Walt Disney's head. He's been keeping it on ice for me.
Oh my god.
Let's see. So where are we at? So yeah, singing, trauma. What else? Eggs.
Singing
Just
about my trauma.
Singing about my trauma. No, I
Jazz
think it was a
hands.
good. I think this was a really good episode. I don't really remember who wrote it. I think we should start like picking up like the IMDb and looking at who was all involved. But let's see. I want to see who directed this because Paul Hohen directed a few of them, and he directed the first one that we.
Yeah, Paul Hohen was on a lot of them.
Yeah, he's a huge director for Disney Channel. He's directed all of the big things.
I thought it was a fun episode, though. I definitely liked. It was one of those few episodes. Well, I shouldn't say few episodes. You guys work together on a lot of them. Like the sibling rivalry is kind of like resolved, and you guys come out on top. But that was a fun one. a nice warm-hearted ending to that episode. Although I'm sure you guys found a reason to hate each other at the end again.
I'm just trying to remember if he directed any of the ones I was in. But God, it's so long ago.
Oh, it was.
Paul Owen?
It was.
there
Okay,
you go.
thank you, Joe. I was like looking at my phone being
was
rude
Paul
on my own
Owen.
podcast here.
Joe, we used to have to have you be our Jamie.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, can you look that up for us, please?
Right?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, we need that.
So Paul Hohen is great. I mean, he's a great guy. We could call him right now. Paul's literally directed all of the biggest like Disney movies. I think he's directed Descendants and stuff. Like he's huge.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think he's also one of the friends of like all those guys. Like they all grew up surfing together.
I never got along with him.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, really? Oh,
You didn't know him that well?
No, I didn't know
Okay.
that well. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Paul.
I know he was on the show, or did a lot of the episodes, but yeah, never really connected with him that much. But I think he really did most of the big shows that were like, again, I was only on like 13 out of 22 episodes. I think that's what my guarantee was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And when they did use you, sometimes it would be like smaller, like.
Exactly. It's the B crew. It's the B crews going out and shooting the episode.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm trying to think about what your contribution was in this episode.
I looked great. That's what it was.
And it was
Beefcake,
like,
baby.
yeah, you were like by the refrigerator, and I think to your character's credit,
I love how that's going to be the moment everyone remembers. Yeah, Donnie was by the refrigerator. He was throwing in the eggs.
he had a gap in the middle of his teeth.
Had a gap.
You almost had a dick joke though, I think, in this episode.
Almost had a dick joke.
Yeah.
He always had like phallic and sexual innuendos. Him and Tugnut.
He goes,
had, like,
he's
very-
like looking in the mirror and he goes, because he was talking about things that are different than middle school, and yet you're like looking in the mirror and you're like, it's gotten bigger, and you're like supposed to be indicating your bicep, but you're looking a little bit below your
Hold
bicep.
on
in
a
the
second.
thing.
Is this so? When you
Dude,
got
this-
things like that, do you remember?
No, I think it's just.
You didn't think that much
I think it's
into
the
it.
sick and twisted mind of
Definitely.
Beans over here.
Definitely me. Definitely just my mind.
There's
Yeah.
actually a lot of people who watched Four Beans in college. It got back to me that there was a drinking game dedicated to Beans.
Every time
Beans?
Beans showed up, everyone would drink.
Yeah.
That makes a
Or
lot of
anytime he
sense.
said bacon. Like, I don't know. We have to Google this.
I think it was the bacon thing. I think it's every time someone says bacon that
Bacon
they would drink. Yeah.
and beans.
Look how many lives you've impacted.
Oh, not for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
These
sorry.
kids, and it was at Yale
you just-
specifically, so some very good minds were inspired by you.
boy.
to
AA
drink
just
on a
got some
Saturday.
new
Just
just
got
got
it.
some new attendees.
Just got some new wings.
yeah, exactly.
An alcoholic earned their chair.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my god!
You became part of the hazing.
Yeah, regimen at
Regimen,
Yale.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, down the street.
At least it's Yale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
It could be.
No one's doing shit at Yale.
People
in my
love-
It
opinion.
could be SMC, right? Yeah.
People love Beans. Seriously, like I can't wait till we start to talk about your episodes, just because of how iconic you became so quickly.
Yeah, it really is interesting how like when I meet people or run into people that know the show, your name is almost always one of the names that
100%.
that people mention. They're like, I remember Beans, because oftentimes it's like, wait, which one were you?
I get the
Well, I get-
opposite. I get a lot of girls who are like, your older brother was so hot. And I'm like,
Well, I mean, first of all, I don't look like Donnie of the early 2000s, but I mean, I think it's still like they obviously remember Shia, they know you, and then you're
They remember
the third
Beans,
leg
but
they always remember.
they see the bald head and the beard, and then they go, Beans?
Yeah,
And then they
yeah.
have this like, oh shit, I'm old too now moment.
Yeah.
And you see like the wheels turning and like the horror on their face.
That is the saddest thing.
And they're like, oh god, you're Beans.
Yeah.
Ah! Yeah, it's like this physical, visceral reaction all at
Dude.
once.
But I think that's how it is anytime you see a celebrity that you've grown up with and you love, and you see them getting old, you're like, oh shit,
Okay.
wait a second. That means I'm getting old too.
yeah, Angelina Jolie, love her, always been obsessed with her, and she started looking like, elderly. And I was
Even
like,
Brad
oh,
Pitt.
God damn
Even
it.
Brad
Yeah,
Pitt.
that's-
I
yeah.
just
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, this whole show has gone to some really dark places and some heavy emotional places.
This particular episode, right?
This particular episode, yes, yeah.
We have lots of stuff inside us that we are unpacking. I hope everyone enjoys this show.
You know,
We're ruining
I think
at a time.
we don't have to make everything clean and positive as a
love
button
that.
at the end of it, but
I don't think your wands
I don't
out.
think we
It's
should
been
I don't think we
Disney
should end on
If you would have done any other Disney like show, were you on any other shows? You were on Raven, right?
Yeah, I did one episode of Raven.
One?
Yeah, just one.
Because they brought you in and they were like, "Oh, you should."
Yeah. Oh hell no! Get him out of here. No, it was just one episode.
What
just
were
one
you?
Episode arc. I was Miles Bonet.
Okay.
Oh God.
it's a great name.
Yeah, it was a great name. He was from
Same
Florida.
writers.
Yeah, it was just another episode that did not age very well at all. I came over. I was supposed to hypnotize Raven with this thing, and I accidentally hypnotized the dad, and the dad wasn't supposed to be hypnotized, and Disney chaos ensues, that type of thing. But yeah, it's just another thing that did not age well
Why?
in this current climate.
Hypnotizing women is not good.
Well, it was that, you know.
I mean, it's always worked for me.
It's I don't know, with you know, Raven getting her claim to fame from being Bill Cosby's granddaughter.
Oh,
And
okay.
It probably aged a little bad.
Copy
you know?
that.
Yeah.
And what about you? Did you work for Disney in any other way?
Nope.
Really? I feel like that's
Nope.
weird.
They realized they made a
utilized
mistake
you.
and like we can't put him in any of our Disney shit. No,
Who
I was
said that?
no, I was you know, I actually Rich Ross. I just saw a comment from Rich Ross.
A comment?
Yeah, from
on Facebook?
Yeah, from posting about the show here.
Oh, really?
And,
Wait, just now?
yeah,
that's
I'm
crazy.
gonna try to get Rich Ross to come to our reunion. Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool.
Very excited about our reunion.
Yeah, no Disney. I will say, so it's interesting. People often say like, you know, why did you stop acting? And it's, you know, it's very easy for me. I never really looked at it as like I stopped acting. I never had like that diehard attitude about I have to be an actor. I'm just an opportunist. If there's an opportunity, I'm going to take it. You know, and then like when opportunity came in other places in my life, I went after those just as like fully committed as I did to this when I went after this. But when the opportunities aren't there or the opportunities you're getting don't excite you anymore, you can't keep doing it. You know, I wasn't excited about the shit that I was going out for. I wasn't excited about the roles that I may have had a chance to book. And so after a while, I was like, it's not worth my time. And I also didn't want to be a 30-year-old man saying that my main gig was going to fucking auditions. You know, it's got to be something more than just reading all the time. So I just naturally filled my life with other things that I was really excited about. But what is cool now as being older is I don't think about Disney opportunities. I think about like what kind of fun roles could you do now in life that you never could have done when you were Beans or when you were Ren Stevens, you know? Like that's way more exciting to me now.
Yeah.
So even though I haven't really pursued the business the way I used to, it'd be really cool to see what roles you could play that you could fill now that are way more meaty.
Yeah.
And
Even like
exciting.
mine, like you doing Beans and then going to Weeds on Showtime. You know, that probably freaked a lot of people out.
I didn't know you did
That's
Weeds.
right. You were
Yeah.
in Weeds.
Fuck
No,
yeah.
people don't realize Steven has been in tons of stuff other than playing a character named Beans on
Yeah.
the Disney show. I wonder why it's stuck.
Well, I mean that's kind of how it always is, right? Like
I guess so.
you had a huge audience for a short period of time, but it was an impressionable show that impacted a lot. It's like you said in the beginning, like so many young people. This is like an
Era.
Yeah, it was a special time in their life. And
Well, who did we just mention? We were talking about Mark Wahlberg, and what did we just call him?
Marky
Marky Mark.
Yeah, we called him Marky Mark.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
guy. Poor guy's never gonna live that down.
I mean, you still will say the guy for Calvin Klein like underwear, which is he made Calvin Klein at that time.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway,
Fascinating.
I want to be the new Calvin Klein model. That's what I
what you
want to
wanna
do.
do?
Yeah, that's my
You don't
next
got
move.
the ass tattoo.
I don't have the ass tattoo, but I
forgot
definitely
about
have the
seeing
ass.
Your butt.
Okay.
That was cool.
Yeah.
This was an amazing episode.
Wait, did we see his butt in this episode?
I don't know. I can't even remember.
All right. Well,
I think I was wearing this shirt.
Let's just say we did.
I think I did because
We did.
Yeah, because we talked a lot about death in this episode, and then
Yeah.
we talked about his dad.
Yeah.
So
And my butt.
and his
In your
butt.
butt.
3 things all in the same arena.
I like this. I
My
like this
butt
podcast.
Right.
I'm not gonna
and
lie.
dad.
I think it's time for us to.
I think
move
it's
on
time to
the
wrap
next
up.
episode.
But
Yeah.
that's the good news is that there's so many of these episodes that we're going to keep going to, and we hope you guys
Yeah,
enjoy our
definitely.
chatty little chat here.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Even More Stevens podcast. If you'd like to catch clips and highlights from the pod, go to Even More Stevens Podcast Clips YouTube channel by clicking the link in the description. And if you want to get exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon now by clicking the link below. See you guys next week.